And Ocean Frontiers is awesome. And we're so thrilled to be part of it. And the thing about Ocean Frontiers is it really can inspire people to be successful. You know, a lot of people get dejected, they get depressed, there's nothing I can do, you know, there's nothing that can improve the world. And Ocean Frontiers says, yes, you can improve the world, and here's a bunch of examples of people that have. And it doesn't take a whole army of people, it only takes a few.
The first example about the shifting of the shipping lanes into the Port of Boston, I think is something that the port industry will really relate to. They're used to studies that look at how to preserve port access and preserve port uses, but while balancing it with conservation. So I think that it just gave a sort of a small snippet of ocean planning and how it can work to help conserve resources. I think related to marine spatial planning and national ocean planning, I think people just have a really hard time understanding what that is, why they should care about it, why it's a good thing, why it's worth funding. There's all kinds of projects being proposed for energy generation, dredging of channels, larger and larger ships and more ships coming out on the ocean. Just a wide variety of people who want to use the ocean. And there's a lot of resources that have been there for many, many years. So, obviously the whales, many of whom are endangered species, all kinds of fish that our society relies on, and you just need to find a way to balance those uses to preserve both of them.
Like so many of us, under the constant barrage of sort of depressing negativism, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? The ice is melting, the sky is falling. There's always this sort of sense of loss of hope. And what I found so consistent and powerful in the 4 vignettes was each one was an example of the realization of hope. That people could do something together, collectively, put their egos aside and say, we can do more together than we can alone. And then there was that sense of faith that built out of it, and a faith in each other, which, as you well know, we've seemed to have lost a lot of that faith in humanity and that humanism that binds us. And that, to me, that's a message that needs to be amplified more and more. And because otherwise, like when I'm talking to students, and there's this sort of sense of desperation, or what are we doing, or how are we going to turn this around? It's like, no. It starts from the ground up, and don't look up as though somebody is going to, come in on a white Charger and say, oh, I've got the, here, pixie dust, and everything's going to go away. No. It takes all of us to do this, and that was what was so powerful. And as Mike said, the other components of it really help put it in this, continental context. And you can imagine expanding this into a global context. But it's like, oh yes, so you connect the Iowa farmers to the Gulf of Mexico fishermen. And you show how all of this is part of a larger puzzle. And that, as I was writing about it this morning, it was like, I see this as a corner piece in the puzzle. Right? At least in our family, when we build puzzles, right, you sort of do the edges first, and you try and find those corner pieces, because that's sort of like, that's the foundation. So it's starting with building a foundation, and it's a foundation of hope and reality. And it's a very, very powerful message, and we need more of it.